Have you ever wondered why some vegetables that are considered healthy might actually be working against your body as you age? What if I told you that certain vegetables sitting in your refrigerator right now could be quietly sabotaging your health, causing inflammation, digestive distress, and even accelerating the aging process? Today, we're going to uncover the truth about 4 vegetables that many seniors continue to eat, believing they're making healthy choices, when in reality, these foods could be doing more harm than good. But don't worry, I'm also going to share 3 powerful healing vegetables that can transform your health, boost your energy, and help your body thrive well into your golden years. Before we dive in, I'd love to know where you're joining me from today. Drop a comment below and let me know your age and what vegetables you eat most often. Your story might help someone else in our community make better choices for their health. Now let's start with a story that might sound familiar. Meet Dorothy, a vibrant 68-year-old retired librarian from Ohio. For years, Dorothy prided herself on eating what she thought was a healthy diet. Every morning, she'd start her day with a fresh tomato and pepper omelette, convinced she was giving her body the nutrients it needed. But something wasn't right. Despite her efforts to eat well, Dorothy found herself struggling with persistent joint pain, especially in her hands and knees. Her energy levels were inconsistent, and she often felt bloated and uncomfortable after meals. Her doctor ran tests, but everything came back normal. "It's just part of getting older," he told her. Dorothy wasn't satisfied with that answer. She began researching and discovered something shocking. Some of the vegetables she'd been eating religiously were actually inflammatory foods that were working against her aging body. When she made some simple changes to her diet, eliminating certain vegetables and adding others, the transformation was remarkable. Within just 3 weeks, her joint pain significantly decreased, her energy levels stabilized, and that uncomfortable bloating became a thing of the past. Dorothy's story isn't unique. Thousands of seniors are unknowingly consuming vegetables that create inflammation, disrupt digestion, and accelerate cellular aging. But here's the good news. Once you know which vegetables to avoid and which ones to embrace, you can turn your health around just like Dorothy did. Let's start with the first vegetable that many seniors should consider avoiding. And this one might surprise you because it's often recommended as a superfood. The first vegetable to avoid: raw spinach. Now, before you think I've lost my mind, let me explain. Spinach is indeed packed with nutrients: iron, vitamins A and K, folate, and antioxidants. But for seniors, particularly those over 60, raw spinach can pose several hidden dangers that younger bodies can typically handle better. The primary concern with raw spinach is its extremely high oxalate content. Oxalates are naturally occurring compounds found in many plants, but spinach contains some of the highest levels of any vegetable. While oxalates aren't necessarily harmful in small amounts, they become problematic when consumed regularly, especially as we age. Here's what happens in your body when you consume high amounts of oxalates from raw spinach. As we get older, our kidneys become less efficient at processing and eliminating these compounds. This can lead to the formation of kidney stones, which affect nearly 20% of seniors. But kidney stones aren't the only concern. Oxalates also bind to important minerals in your digestive system, particularly calcium, magnesium, and iron, preventing your body from absorbing these crucial nutrients. For seniors who are already at risk for osteoporosis and iron deficiency, this mineral blocking effect can accelerate bone loss and contribute to anemia. Dr. Sarah Williams, a geriatric nutrition specialist, explains it this way. As we age, our digestive system becomes less acidic, which means we're already absorbing fewer minerals from our food. When we add high oxalate foods like raw spinach to the mix, we're essentially putting up roadblocks to the very nutrients our aging bodies desperately need. But there's another hidden danger in raw spinach that many people don't know about: E. coli contamination. Leafy greens, particularly spinach, are among the most common sources of foodborne illness in older adults. The CDC reports that leafy greens account for nearly 25% of all food poisoning cases, and seniors are disproportionately affected because their immune systems are naturally less robust. Margaret Thompson, a 72-year-old grandmother from Florida, learned this the hard way. I was eating spinach salads almost every day, thinking I was doing something good for my health, she recalls. But I kept getting these terrible stomach upsets, and I was always tired. My doctor said my iron levels were low, which didn't make sense, because I thought spinach was supposed to be high in iron. What Margaret discovered was that the oxalates in the raw spinach she was consuming were binding to the iron, making it unavailable for her body to use. When she switched to cooked spinach and reduced her overall intake, her iron levels improved and her digestive issues resolved. Now, this doesn't mean you have to eliminate spinach entirely. Cooking spinach dramatically reduces its oxalate content by up to 90% in some cases. Steaming, sautéing, or even lightly wilting spinach makes it much safer for regular consumption. The heat breaks down the oxalate crystals and makes the beneficial nutrients more bioavailable. If you love spinach and want to keep it in your diet, here are some safer ways to enjoy it. First, always cook it before eating. Even a light sauté for 2 to 3 minutes is enough to significantly reduce the oxalate content. Second, pair cooked spinach with calcium-rich foods like cheese or yogurt. The calcium will bind to any remaining oxalates, preventing them from interfering with mineral absorption. Third, limit your intake to no more than 2 to 3 servings per week, and make sure you're drinking plenty of water to help your kidneys process any oxalates you do consume. The second vegetable to avoid: nightshade vegetables, particularly tomatoes and peppers. The second category of vegetables that can be problematic for seniors might shock you even more: nightshade vegetables, particularly tomatoes and peppers. These vegetables are staples in many diets and are often praised for their vitamin C content and antioxidants. But for many seniors, especially those dealing with arthritis, joint pain, or autoimmune conditions, nightshades can be inflammatory triggers. Nightshade vegetables include tomatoes, bell peppers, eggplant, and potatoes. They contain natural compounds called alkaloids, particularly solanine and capsaicin, which evolved as the plant's defense mechanism against insects and animals. While these compounds aren't harmful to everyone, they can trigger inflammation in sensitive individuals, and sensitivity tends to increase with age. The reason nightshades become more problematic as we age has to do with changes in our digestive system and immune function. Our gut lining becomes more permeable over time, a condition often called leaky gut. When the intestinal barrier is compromised, compounds like alkaloids can pass through more easily, triggering immune responses and inflammation throughout the body. Dr. James Patterson, a rheumatologist who specializes in treating seniors, has observed this connection firsthand. I've had numerous patients over 65 who experience significant improvement in their joint pain and stiffness when they eliminated nightshades from their diet, he explains. The inflammation reduction can be quite dramatic, sometimes within just 2 to 3 weeks. Let me tell you about Robert, a 71-year-old retired mechanic who had been struggling with severe arthritis pain in his hands and shoulders. For years, he'd been taking anti-inflammatory medications with limited relief and concerning side effects. His wife, Linda, had been preparing what she thought were healthy meals, loaded with fresh tomatoes, bell peppers, and other vegetables from their garden. When Robert heard about the potential connection between nightshades and inflammation, he was skeptical. "I've been eating tomatoes my whole life," he told his doctor. How could they suddenly be causing problems now? But desperate for relief, he agreed to try an elimination diet. For 30 days, Robert avoided all nightshade vegetables. The first week was challenging. Tomatoes and peppers had been staples in their cooking. But by the second week, Robert began to notice something remarkable. The morning stiffness in his hands was less severe. By the third week, he was able to grip tools in his workshop without the sharp pain he'd grown accustomed to. "It was like someone had turned down the volume on my pain," Robert recalls. "I couldn't believe that vegetables I'd eaten for decades were actually making my arthritis worse." When Robert reintroduced tomatoes after the 30-day elimination period, his pain returned within 48 hours, confirming the connection. The alkaloids in nightshades can also interfere with calcium metabolism, potentially contributing to bone loss in seniors who are already at risk for osteoporosis. Additionally, some research suggests that these compounds may disrupt nerve function, potentially contributing to cognitive issues and mood changes. But here's what's particularly concerning for seniors. Many of us have been eating nightshades for decades without problems, so we don't think to connect them to new health issues that develop later in life. As our bodies age and become less resilient, we can develop sensitivities to foods that never bothered us before. If you suspect nightshades might be contributing to inflammation or digestive issues, try an elimination diet. Remove all nightshade vegetables for 30 days, then reintroduce them one at a time to see if symptoms return. Many seniors find that while they may be sensitive to raw tomatoes, they can tolerate them in small amounts when cooked. Others discover they can handle peppers, but not tomatoes, or vice versa. For those who find they need to avoid nightshades, there are excellent alternatives. Instead of tomatoes, try using beets or carrots for color and sweetness in your cooking. Replace bell peppers with cucumber, celery, or radishes for crunch. Sweet potatoes, which are not actually nightshades despite their name, make an excellent substitute for regular potatoes. The third vegetable to avoid: raw cruciferous vegetables. The third category of vegetables that can be problematic for seniors might surprise you, because these are often touted as superfoods. Raw cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. While these vegetables are incredibly nutritious when properly prepared, eating them raw can create significant digestive challenges and interfere with thyroid function, particularly in older adults. Cruciferous vegetables contain compounds called goitrogens, which can interfere with thyroid hormone production by blocking iodine uptake. This is especially concerning for seniors because thyroid function naturally declines with age, and many older adults already have subclinical thyroid issues. When you add goitrogen-rich foods to the mix, you can further suppress an already sluggish thyroid. Dr. Lisa Chen, an endocrinologist who specializes in treating thyroid disorders in seniors, explains the connection. "I see many patients over 60 who come in with symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, feeling cold, and brain fog. When we test their thyroid function, it's often on the lower end of normal. These patients are frequently consuming large amounts of raw kale smoothies and broccoli salads, thinking they're being healthy, but they're actually suppressing their thyroid function even further." The thyroid is crucial for maintaining metabolism, energy levels, body temperature regulation, and cognitive function. When thyroid function is compromised, seniors may experience increased fatigue, unexplained weight gain, depression, memory problems, and feeling cold even in warm environments. Raw cruciferous vegetables also contain complex sugars called raffinose and high amounts of fiber that can be difficult for the aging digestive system to break down. This can lead to excessive gas, bloating, cramping, and digestive discomfort that many seniors simply accept as a normal part of aging. Eleanor, a 74-year-old retired teacher, experienced this firsthand. Motivated by health articles she'd read, Eleanor began starting each day with a large raw kale and broccoli smoothie. She also incorporated raw cauliflower and cabbage into her salads, proud of herself for eating so many superfoods. But within a few weeks, Eleanor noticed she was feeling more tired than usual. She was also experiencing significant digestive distress, bloating, gas, and stomach cramps that made her reluctant to eat. When she mentioned these symptoms to her doctor during a routine visit, he ran some tests and discovered her thyroid function had declined. My doctor asked about my diet, and when I told him about all the raw, cruciferous vegetables I was eating, he suggested I try cooking them instead, Eleanor recalls. I was surprised because I thought raw vegetables were always better than cooked ones. Within 2 weeks of switching to cooked cruciferous vegetables and reducing her overall intake, Eleanor's digestive symptoms improved dramatically. Her energy levels began to return, and follow-up thyroid tests showed improvement in her hormone levels. The good news is that cooking cruciferous vegetables significantly reduces their goitrogenic properties while maintaining most of their nutritional benefits. Steaming, roasting, or sautéing these vegetables breaks down the compounds that interfere with thyroid function and makes them much easier to digest. Here's how to safely enjoy cruciferous vegetables as a senior. First, always cook them before eating. Even light steaming for 5 to 7 minutes is enough to neutralize most of the problematic compounds. Second, don't over-consume them. While they're nutritious, limit cruciferous vegetables to 3 to 4 servings per week rather than making them a daily staple. Third, if you have known thyroid issues, discuss your intake with your doctor and consider having your thyroid function monitored if you consume these vegetables regularly. Raw fermented cruciferous vegetables like sauerkraut and kimchi are exceptions to this rule. The fermentation process breaks down many of the problematic compounds while adding beneficial probiotics that support digestive health in seniors. The fourth vegetable to avoid: high-sodium canned vegetables. The fourth category of vegetables that seniors should avoid might seem obvious, but it's worth addressing because it's so commonly consumed: high-sodium canned vegetables. Many seniors turn to canned vegetables for convenience, longer shelf life, and often because fresh vegetables can be expensive or difficult to prepare due to arthritis or limited mobility. However, most canned vegetables are loaded with sodium, often containing 300 to 600 milligrams per serving, sometimes more than 25% of the daily recommended sodium intake in a single half-cup serving. For seniors who are at increased risk for high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke, this excessive sodium intake can be particularly dangerous. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient at processing sodium, and our blood vessels lose elasticity. This means that high sodium intake has a more pronounced effect on blood pressure in older adults than in younger people. Additionally, excess sodium can contribute to fluid retention, which can worsen conditions like heart failure and put additional strain on an already stressed cardiovascular system. The sodium in canned vegetables also affects mineral balance in the body. High sodium intake can increase calcium excretion through the kidneys, contributing to bone loss at a time when seniors are already at risk for osteoporosis. It can also interfere with the effectiveness of blood pressure medications that many seniors take. Frank, a 69-year-old retiree, thought he was making healthy choices by eating vegetables with every meal. Due to arthritis in his hands, fresh vegetable preparation had become difficult, so he relied heavily on canned vegetables for convenience. His typical day included canned green beans with lunch and canned corn with dinner, along with other processed foods. During a routine doctor's visit, Frank's blood pressure readings had climbed to concerning levels, despite medication. His doctor was puzzled because Frank's weight was stable, and he claimed to be eating a healthy diet. It wasn't until a dietitian reviewed Frank's food diary that the problem became clear. "I was consuming over 3,000 milligrams of sodium per day, mostly from canned vegetables and other processed foods," Frank explains. "I had no idea that the vegetables I thought were healthy were actually loaded with salt." When Frank switched to frozen vegetables without added sodium and learned simple preparation techniques that worked with his arthritis, his blood pressure began to improve within weeks. Beyond the sodium content, canned vegetables often contain fewer nutrients than their fresh or frozen counterparts. The high heat canning process can destroy heat-sensitive vitamins like vitamin C and some B vitamins. Additionally, many canned vegetables contain added preservatives and sometimes sugar, which can affect blood glucose levels in seniors who may already be dealing with insulin resistance or diabetes. The solution isn't to avoid vegetables altogether, but to choose better options. Frozen vegetables are often the best alternative for seniors who want convenience without the health risks. They're typically flash frozen at peak ripeness, preserving most of their nutrients, and they don't contain added sodium unless specifically stated on the label. If you do choose canned vegetables occasionally, look for varieties labeled no salt added or low sodium. Even better, rinse canned vegetables in a colander under running water for 60 seconds, which can reduce sodium content by up to 40%. Now, let's shift our focus to the healing vegetables that can transform your health. While we've discussed vegetables that can be problematic for seniors, it's important to remember that vegetables remain one of the most powerful tools for maintaining health and vitality as we age. The key is choosing the right ones and preparing them properly. Let me introduce you to 3 healing vegetables that can help reverse inflammation, support healthy aging, and give you the energy and vitality you deserve. The first healing vegetable: sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are perhaps one of the most perfect vegetables for seniors, offering a unique combination of nutrients that address many of the health challenges we face as we age. Unlike regular potatoes, which are nightshades and can contribute to inflammation, sweet potatoes are gentle on the digestive system while providing sustained energy and powerful healing compounds. The beautiful orange color of sweet potatoes comes from beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A that your body converts as needed. This is particularly important for seniors because vitamin A supports immune function, which naturally declines with age. Beta-carotene also acts as a powerful antioxidant, protecting cells from the oxidative stress that contributes to aging and chronic disease. But what makes sweet potatoes truly special for seniors is their effect on blood sugar stability. Despite their natural sweetness, sweet potatoes have a lower glycemic index than regular potatoes, meaning they cause a gentler, more sustained rise in blood sugar. This is crucial for seniors who may be dealing with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes. Sweet potatoes are also rich in potassium, providing more of this essential mineral than bananas. Potassium is vital for heart health, blood pressure regulation, and muscle function, all areas of particular concern for older adults. Many seniors don't get enough potassium in their diets, and the high sodium intake from processed foods makes this mineral even more important for maintaining proper electrolyte balance. Dr. Maria Rodriguez, a geriatric nutritionist, has seen remarkable improvements in her patients who incorporate sweet potatoes into their regular diet. Sweet potatoes are like nature's multivitamin for seniors, she explains. They provide sustained energy without blood sugar spikes, support immune function, and are easy to digest, even for those with sensitive stomachs. Let me tell you about Helen, a 76-year-old who had been struggling with afternoon energy crashes and unstable blood sugar levels. Her doctor had warned her that she was pre-diabetic, and she was concerned about developing full-blown diabetes like her sister had. Helen's daughter suggested she try replacing her usual lunch of white bread sandwiches with baked sweet potatoes, topped with a small amount of protein. Helen was skeptical at first. She associated sweet potatoes with holiday meals and desserts, not everyday healthy eating. But the results were remarkable. The afternoon energy crashes that had plagued Helen for years disappeared. Her blood sugar readings became more stable, and she felt satisfied and energetic throughout the day. "I couldn't believe that something so simple could make such a difference," Helen says. "Sweet potatoes became my go-to comfort food that actually made me feel better instead of worse." Sweet potatoes are also incredibly versatile and easy to prepare, making them perfect for seniors who may have limited cooking abilities or energy. They can be baked whole in the oven, microwaved for quick preparation, or cut into cubes and roasted. Their natural sweetness means they don't need added sugars or heavy seasonings to taste delicious. For seniors dealing with digestive issues, sweet potatoes are particularly beneficial because they're rich in fiber, but in a form that's gentle on the stomach. The fiber supports healthy digestion and can help prevent the constipation that commonly affects older adults, especially those taking medications that slow digestion. Here are some simple ways to incorporate sweet potatoes into your daily routine. Bake several sweet potatoes at once and store them in the refrigerator for easy reheating throughout the week. Try them mashed with a little olive oil and herbs as a side dish, cubed, and added to soups for extra nutrition and flavor, or even enjoyed cold in salads for a sweet, satisfying element. The second healing vegetable, carrots. Carrots are another exceptional healing vegetable for seniors, offering a perfect combination of nutrients that support vision, immune function, and cardiovascular health. Like sweet potatoes, carrots are rich in beta-carotene, but they offer unique benefits that make them particularly valuable for older adults. One of the most significant benefits of carrots for seniors is their support for eye health. Age-related macular degeneration and cataracts are leading causes of vision loss in older adults, but the beta-carotene and lutein in carrots can help protect against these conditions. Research has shown that people who consume higher amounts of carotenoid-rich vegetables like carrots have a significantly lower risk of developing age-related eye diseases. Carrots also contain unique compounds called polyacetylenes, which have been shown to have anti-inflammatory and immune-supporting properties. These compounds are particularly concentrated in the outer layers of the carrot, which is why it's beneficial to eat carrots with their skin on when possible. The fiber in carrots is particularly beneficial for seniors because it's gentle and well tolerated, even by those with sensitive digestive systems. Unlike some high-fiber vegetables that can cause gas and bloating, carrots provide digestive support without uncomfortable side effects. Dr. Patricia Wilson, an ophthalmologist who specializes in treating seniors, often recommends carrots to her patients. I've seen patients who increase their intake of carrots and other beta-carotene-rich vegetables experience slower progression of macular degeneration, she explains. While carrots can't cure eye diseases, they can certainly help support overall eye health as we age. Consider the story of Arthur, an 82-year-old retired pilot who was beginning to experience vision changes that concerned him. Having relied on sharp vision throughout his career, Arthur was particularly worried about losing his sight. His eye doctor recommended increasing his intake of carotenoid-rich vegetables. Arthur began incorporating carrots into his daily routine, sometimes raw as a snack with a small amount of hummus, sometimes cooked and added to his evening meals. He also started drinking a small glass of fresh carrot juice several times a week. After 6 months, Arthur's vision had stabilized, and his eye doctor noted improvement in some of his test results. I don't know if it was just the carrots or my overall better diet, but I definitely feel like my vision is sharper and more stable than it was a year ago, Arthur reports. And as an added bonus, people keep telling me my skin looks healthier too. This observation about skin health isn't just Arthur's imagination. The beta-carotene in carrots can actually improve skin health and appearance, giving seniors a healthy glow that comes from proper nutrition rather than expensive creams or treatments. Carrots are also extremely convenient for seniors because they keep well, are available year-round, and can be prepared in numerous ways. They can be eaten raw for maximum enzyme content, lightly steamed to improve carotenoid absorption, or added to soups and stews for extra nutrition and natural sweetness. For optimal absorption of the beneficial compounds in carrots, it's helpful to consume them with a small amount of healthy fat. This could be as simple as adding a drizzle of olive oil to cooked carrots, or eating raw carrots with a small amount of hummus or nut butter. Here are some senior-friendly ways to incorporate more carrots into your diet. Keep baby carrots washed and ready in the refrigerator for easy snacking. Add grated carrots to salads for extra color, sweetness, and nutrition. Include carrots in homemade soups and stews where they add natural sweetness and body. Try roasted carrots as a simple side dish. Just toss with olive oil and herbs and roast until tender. The third healing vegetable, leafy greens, properly prepared. While we discussed the problems with raw spinach earlier, properly prepared leafy greens are among the most healing vegetables seniors can consume. The key is choosing the right varieties and preparing them correctly to maximize benefits while minimizing potential problems. The best leafy greens for seniors include Swiss chard, collard greens, and kale when properly cooked. These vegetables are powerhouses of nutrients that address many of the health challenges seniors face, including bone loss, cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and immune system weakening. Leafy greens are among the richest sources of vitamin K, which is essential for bone health and proper blood clotting. As we age, vitamin K deficiency becomes more common, contributing to increased fracture risk. Just 1 cup of cooked collard greens provides over 1,000% of the daily recommended intake of vitamin K. These vegetables are also rich in folate, a B vitamin that's crucial for cardiovascular health and cognitive function. Folate helps reduce homocysteine levels, an amino acid that can damage blood vessels when elevated. Many seniors have elevated homocysteine levels, putting them at increased risk for heart disease and stroke. The magnesium in leafy greens is particularly beneficial for seniors because it supports muscle function, helps prevent leg cramps, and contributes to better sleep quality. Many older adults are deficient in magnesium, contributing to muscle weakness, irregular heartbeat, and sleep disturbances. Dr. Catherine Lee, a geriatrician who emphasizes nutrition in her practice, has observed significant improvements in her patients who regularly consume properly prepared leafy greens. I've seen improvements in bone density, cardiovascular markers, and even cognitive function in patients who made leafy greens a regular part of their diet, she explains. The key is cooking them lightly to improve digestibility and nutrient absorption. Let me share the story of Joyce, a 73-year-old who had been diagnosed with osteopenia, the precursor to osteoporosis. Her doctor recommended calcium supplements, but Joyce was concerned about potential side effects and wanted to try a more natural approach first. Joyce began incorporating cooked leafy greens into her diet daily, sometimes sautéed Swiss chard with garlic, sometimes collard greens added to soups, and occasionally massaged kale salads, where the vegetables were broken down but not fully cooked. She also made sure to eat these vegetables with healthy fats to improve absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. After 1 year of this dietary approach, combined with regular walking, Joyce's bone density test showed improvement. "My doctor was surprised by how much my bones had improved," Joyce recalls. "He said that while supplements might have helped, getting nutrients from food seemed to be working even better for my body." The key to safely enjoying leafy greens as a senior is proper preparation. Light cooking, steaming, sautéing, or even massaging with oil and acid breaks down difficult-to-digest fibers and reduces oxalate content while maintaining most of the nutritional benefits. Massaging leafy greens is a technique that many seniors find helpful. Simply tear the leaves into bite-sized pieces, drizzle with a small amount of olive oil and lemon juice, then use your hands to gently massage the leaves for a minute or two. This breaks down the tough cell walls, making the greens more digestible while keeping them essentially raw. Here are some senior-friendly ways to prepare leafy greens. Sauté them with garlic and olive oil for a simple, delicious side dish. Add them to soups and stews in the last few minutes of cooking. Try the massaging technique for salads that are easier to digest than traditional raw greens. Blend small amounts into smoothies with sweet fruits to mask any bitter flavors. For seniors taking blood-thinning medications, it's important to be consistent with vitamin K intake rather than avoiding these nutritious vegetables altogether. Work with your doctor to monitor your levels and adjust your medication if needed. But don't miss out on the incredible health benefits of these healing vegetables. Bringing it all together, creating a senior-friendly vegetable plan. Now that we've covered the vegetables to avoid and the ones that can transform your health, let's talk about how to create a practical, sustainable approach to vegetable consumption that works for your lifestyle and health needs. The goal isn't to completely eliminate all vegetables that might cause problems, but rather to be mindful of how your body responds to different foods and make adjustments accordingly. Remember Dorothy from the beginning of our discussion. She didn't eliminate every potentially problematic vegetable. She learned to listen to her body and make informed choices. Start by keeping a simple food and symptom diary for 2 weeks. Note what vegetables you eat and any symptoms you experience. Joint pain, digestive issues, energy levels, sleep quality, or any other concerns. Look for patterns. Do you notice increased joint stiffness after eating tomato-based meals? Do you feel bloated after large raw salads? Does your energy crash after certain meals? If you suspect certain vegetables might be causing problems, try an elimination approach. Remove the suspected vegetables for 3 to 4 weeks, then reintroduce them one at a time to see if symptoms return. This approach helped Robert identify that tomatoes were triggering his arthritis pain, while Eleanor discovered that raw cruciferous vegetables were affecting her thyroid function. When reintroducing vegetables, start with small amounts and pay attention to how your body responds. You might find that you can tolerate small amounts of cooked tomatoes, but not raw ones, or that you feel fine with cruciferous vegetables when they're properly cooked, but experience digestive distress when they're raw. Focus on incorporating the healing vegetables we discussed, sweet potatoes, carrots, and properly prepared leafy greens as the foundation of your vegetable intake. These vegetables provide powerful nutrition while being gentle on aging digestive systems and supportive of the health challenges seniors commonly face. Preparation matters tremendously for seniors. Cooking vegetables lightly breaks down tough fibers, reduces problematic compounds, and often improves nutrient absorption. Steaming, sautéing, and roasting are excellent cooking methods that preserve nutrition while making vegetables easier to digest. Don't forget about variety and seasonal eating. Different vegetables provide different nutrients, so aim for a rainbow of colors throughout the week. Seasonal vegetables are often more affordable and at their nutritional peak, making them an excellent choice for seniors on fixed incomes. Consider your individual health conditions when planning your vegetable intake. If you have kidney stones, you'll want to be more careful about high oxalate vegetables. If you have thyroid issues, work with your doctor to determine the right amount of cruciferous vegetables for your situation. If you're taking blood thinners, maintain consistency in your vitamin K intake from leafy greens. Storage and preparation can be challenging for some seniors, so plan accordingly. Wash and prep vegetables when you have energy, storing them properly for easy use throughout the week. Frozen vegetables can be excellent alternatives when fresh preparation is difficult. Pre-cut vegetables from the grocery store, while more expensive, can be worthwhile investments in your health if they help you eat more vegetables. Remember that small, consistent changes often lead to better long-term success than dramatic overhauls. If you currently eat very few vegetables, don't try to completely transform your diet overnight. Start by adding one healing vegetable to your daily routine and gradually build from there. The emotional and social aspects of changing your diet. Changing your diet as a senior can involve more than just nutritional considerations. Food is often tied to memories, traditions, and social connections that have developed over decades. The tomatoes you've been growing in your garden for 30 years, the family recipes that include certain vegetables, the social meals with friends, these all matter. It's important to approach dietary changes with compassion for yourself and recognition that food is about more than just nutrients. If you discover that certain vegetables you've always enjoyed are now causing problems, it's natural to feel frustrated or sad about having to give them up. Remember Martha, the 76-year-old we mentioned earlier, who loved her tomato garden? When she realized that tomatoes were contributing to her joint pain, she was heartbroken. "Those tomatoes connected me to my late husband," she explained. "We planted that garden together 20 years ago." But Martha found creative solutions. She continued growing tomatoes, but gave most of them to neighbors and family members, keeping just a few to enjoy occasionally when the pleasure outweighed the minor discomfort. She also discovered that she could tolerate small amounts of cooked tomatoes in sauces better than raw tomatoes, so she learned to make and freeze small batches of tomato sauce for special occasions. The social aspect of eating can be challenging when you're making dietary changes. Family dinners, restaurant meals, and social gatherings often center around foods that might not align with your new understanding of what works best for your body. Communication is key. Explain to family and friends that you're making changes to feel better, not to be difficult or high maintenance. Most people who care about you will be supportive when they understand that these changes are improving your quality of life. When eating out, don't be afraid to ask questions about how vegetables are prepared or to request modifications. Most restaurants are happy to accommodate reasonable requests, especially when you explain that it's for health reasons. For social gatherings, consider bringing a dish that you know works well for your body. This ensures you'll have something you can enjoy while contributing to the meal. Sweet potato dishes, roasted carrots, or sautéed leafy greens can be delicious additions to any gathering. Economic considerations for seniors. We can't ignore the fact that many seniors live on fixed incomes, and food costs can be a significant concern when making dietary changes. The good news is that the healing vegetables we've discussed, sweet potatoes, carrots, and leafy greens, are often among the most affordable vegetables available. Sweet potatoes and carrots keep well, so you can buy them in larger quantities when they're on sale. Leafy greens like collard greens and Swiss chard are typically less expensive than more trendy greens like arugula or specialty salad mixes. Frozen vegetables can be excellent alternatives when fresh vegetables are expensive or when you're concerned about waste. Frozen sweet potato cubes, carrot blends, and leafy green mixes are often available at reasonable prices and maintain their nutritional value well. Consider seasonal shopping and simple preservation techniques. When carrots are in season and inexpensive, buy extra and store them properly in the refrigerator where they can keep for several weeks. Sweet potatoes store well in a cool, dark place for months. Community resources can also help. Many communities have senior nutrition programs, farmers markets with senior discounts, or community gardens where seniors can access fresh vegetables at reduced costs, or even for free. If you're eliminating certain vegetables from your diet, you might actually save money that can be redirected toward the healing vegetables that support your health. The cost of the vegetables that truly nourish your aging body is an investment in your health that can pay dividends in reduced medical costs and improved quality of life. Working with healthcare providers. As you make changes to your vegetable intake, it's important to keep your healthcare providers informed, especially if you're taking medications or managing chronic conditions. Some vegetables can interact with medications, and significant dietary changes can affect how your body processes certain drugs. If you're taking blood thinners like warfarin, the vitamin K content in leafy greens is particularly important to discuss with your doctor. Rather than avoiding these nutritious vegetables entirely, most doctors prefer that you maintain consistent intake so they can adjust your medication accordingly. The health benefits of these vegetables often outweigh the inconvenience of medication monitoring. For seniors with diabetes, the shift from high glycemic vegetables to healing vegetables like sweet potatoes can actually improve blood sugar control. However, you should monitor your blood glucose levels more closely during the transition and work with your healthcare team to adjust medications if needed. If you have kidney disease, changes in vegetable intake can affect your potassium and phosphorus levels, which need to be carefully monitored. Don't make dramatic changes without consulting your nephrologist or registered dietitian who specializes in kidney disease. Dr. Michael Foster, a geriatrician with 30 years of experience, emphasizes the importance of this collaboration. I'm always excited when my patients take an active interest in how food affects their health. When we work together to optimize nutrition, I often see improvements that medications alone couldn't achieve. The key is communication and monitoring. Understanding individual variation. One of the most important concepts to understand as you navigate these dietary changes is that individual variation is enormous, especially among seniors. What works beautifully for one person may not work at all for another, and that's completely normal. Your genetics, medical history, current medications, stress levels, sleep quality, and dozens of other factors all influence how your body responds to different foods. The recommendations we've discussed are starting points based on common patterns observed in many seniors, but your individual experience is what matters most. Some seniors find they can eat small amounts of nightshade vegetables without problems, while others need to avoid them completely. Some people thrive on daily leafy greens, while others do better with them just a few times per week. Some find that their tolerance changes seasonally or during times of stress or illness. This is why the food and symptom diary approach is so valuable. It helps you become the expert on your own body's responses and patterns. Over time, you'll develop an intuitive sense of what makes you feel energetic and vital versus what leaves you feeling sluggish or uncomfortable. Sarah, an 81-year-old retired nurse, has become quite skilled at this self-awareness. "I've learned that my body talks to me all the time," she explains. "If I pay attention, I can tell within a few hours whether something I ate is agreeing with me or not. It's like having an internal guidance system." Sarah has discovered that she feels best when she follows most of the guidelines we've discussed, but she's also learned her unique patterns. She can handle small amounts of cooked tomatoes in winter, but needs to avoid them completely during summer when her arthritis tends to flare. She thrives on daily sweet potatoes, but finds that too many carrots give her digestive upset. "The key is being curious rather than rigid," Sarah notes. "I treat my diet like an ongoing experiment, always learning and adjusting based on how I feel." Oh, the long-term vision, aging with vitality. As we wrap up our discussion of vegetables to avoid and embrace, it's important to keep the bigger picture in mind. These dietary changes aren't just about avoiding discomfort or managing symptoms. They're about supporting your body's ability to age with grace, energy, and vitality. The choices you make today about which vegetables to include in your diet will influence how you feel next month, next year, and in the decade ahead. By choosing vegetables that reduce inflammation, support stable energy, and provide the nutrients your aging body needs most, you're investing in your future self. Consider the difference between two paths. On one path, you continue eating vegetables that may be creating subtle inflammation and digestive stress. Over time, these effects compound, leading to increased joint pain, unstable energy, and a general sense of feeling older than your years. On the other path, you make informed choices about vegetables that support your body's healing and maintenance systems. You choose sweet potatoes that stabilize your blood sugar and provide sustained energy. You include carrots that support your vision and immune system. You enjoy properly prepared leafy greens that strengthen your bones and support your cardiovascular health. The difference between these two paths may seem small day by day, but over months and years, the cumulative effect can be profound. Many seniors who make these changes report not just feeling better, but feeling younger, more energetic, and more optimistic about their future. Real-world success stories. Let me share a few more real-world examples of seniors who transformed their health by making these simple but powerful changes to their vegetable choices. Catherine, 78, had been struggling with chronic fatigue and brain fog that her doctors attributed to normal aging. She was eating what she thought was a very healthy diet, including large raw salads with spinach, tomatoes, and peppers every day for lunch. When Catherine eliminated nightshades and switched to cooked leafy greens and healing vegetables, her energy levels improved dramatically within a month. "It was like someone turned the lights back on in my brain," she reports. George, 71, had been dealing with increasing joint stiffness and pain that was limiting his ability to do the woodworking he loved. He was eating tomato-based sauces almost daily and large portions of raw broccoli and cauliflower. When he eliminated nightshades and switched to cooked cruciferous vegetables, his joint pain decreased significantly. He was able to return to his workshop and even took on a major project building cabinets for his daughter's kitchen. Rose, 84, had been experiencing digestive issues and low energy despite eating what her doctor called an exemplary diet full of vegetables. However, most of those vegetables were raw and included high oxalate foods like raw spinach. When Rose switched to cooked vegetables and incorporated more sweet potatoes and carrots, her digestive issues resolved, and her energy levels improved so much that she was able to start taking daily walks with her neighbor for the first time in years. These stories aren't miraculous cures. They're examples of what can happen when we align our food choices with what our aging bodies actually need rather than what we think should be healthy. Practical implementation. Your 30-day plan. If you're ready to start implementing these changes, here's a practical 30-day plan that many seniors have found helpful. Week 1. Assessment and elimination. Start your food and symptom diary, noting everything you eat and any symptoms you experience. Begin eliminating the vegetables we've identified as potentially problematic: raw spinach, nightshade vegetables, raw cruciferous vegetables, and high-sodium canned vegetables. Don't worry about adding new foods yet, just focus on removing the potentially inflammatory ones. Week 2. Introduction of healing vegetables. Begin incorporating sweet potatoes into your daily routine. Try them baked, mashed, or roasted. Add carrots as snacks or side dishes. Introduce properly cooked leafy greens 2 to 3 times this week. Continue avoiding the problematic vegetables and monitoring your symptoms. Week 3. Expansion and experimentation. Try different preparations of the healing vegetables to find what you enjoy most. Experiment with seasonings and cooking methods. Continue monitoring your energy levels, digestive comfort, and any pain or stiffness. Many people begin noticing improvements during this week. Week 4. Refinement and planning. Assess what's working well and what needs adjustment. Plan how you'll continue these changes long-term. Consider which eliminated vegetables you might want to test reintroducing and which ones you feel better without. Moving forward, a lifestyle, not a diet. The most successful seniors who make these changes view them not as a temporary diet, but as a new understanding of how to nourish their bodies. They become curious observers of their own responses to food rather than rigid followers of rules. This approach allows for flexibility and enjoyment while maintaining the health benefits. You might find that you can enjoy small amounts of certain vegetables occasionally without problems, or that your tolerance changes with seasons or stress levels. The goal is to feel empowered and informed about your food choices rather than restricted or deprived. When you understand which vegetables support your health and vitality and which ones may be working against you, you can make choices that align with how you want to feel. The ripple effects of better nutrition. When seniors make these thoughtful changes to their vegetable intake, the effects often extend far beyond just physical health. Better nutrition supports better sleep, which improves mood and cognitive function. Reduced inflammation can decrease pain, making it easier to stay active and social. Stable energy levels make it easier to pursue hobbies and maintain relationships. Many seniors report that family members and friends notice positive changes: more energy, better mood, improved mobility, and a general sense of vitality. These changes can inspire others in their social circle to examine their own dietary choices. The confidence that comes from taking control of your health through informed food choices can be transformative. Instead of feeling like a passive victim of aging, you become an active participant in maintaining and improving your health. Final thoughts. Your health, your choices. As we conclude this comprehensive look at vegetables for seniors, remember that knowledge is power, but only when it's applied with wisdom and self-compassion. The information we've shared represents general patterns and common experiences, but your individual experience is what matters most. Start where you are, use what you've learned, and make changes at a pace that feels sustainable for you. Don't try to implement everything at once. Gradual, consistent changes are more likely to become lasting habits. Listen to your body, work with your healthcare providers, and remember that it's never too late to make changes that improve how you feel. Your body has a remarkable capacity for healing and regeneration when given the right support, regardless of your age. The vegetables you choose to eat are one powerful tool in your toolkit for aging with vitality and grace. Use this tool wisely, and you may be surprised by how much better you can feel and how much more energy you have for the activities and relationships that bring joy to your life. Whether you're 60 or 90, the choices you make today about which vegetables to embrace and which to avoid can influence how you feel tomorrow, next month, and in the years ahead. Choose vegetables that support your body's healing, reduce inflammation, and provide sustained energy. Your future self will thank you for the investment you make in your health today. Remember Dorothy, Margaret, Robert, Eleanor, and all the other seniors whose stories we've shared? They're not unique or special. They're ordinary people who made informed choices about their nutrition and experienced extraordinary improvements in how they feel. You have that same potential within you. If this information has been helpful to you, I'd love to hear about your experience. Share your story in the comments below. What vegetables have you found helpful or problematic? What changes are you planning to make? Your experience might be exactly what another senior needs to hear to take that first step toward better health. And if you found value in this comprehensive guide to vegetables for seniors, please share it with others who might benefit. Subscribe for more evidence-based nutrition information specifically designed for older adults. And remember, it's never too late to start feeling better. Your health journey continues with every meal, every choice, and every step you take toward nourishing your body with wisdom and care. Choose vegetables that heal, avoid those that harm, and trust in your body's incredible capacity for renewal and vitality at any age.